Your phone calls. Alex, Flat Rock, 97.1. What's up, Alex?
Not much. Got to wait on the Rieger thing first off. Normally, I would be fine, but if he was specifically warned about it to watch your mouth around the clergy, just no cussing. I don't think that's too much.
But how do you do it on the golf course? Don't you have to curse unless you shoot a beautiful round?
The same way you would do it if you go to a sports game with one of your clients. You might be tied up in the game, but you're not going to MF them up and down because you're on the job.
Well, it depends on the client.
That's true. But the client is just a place to watch your mouth.
Well, okay, that would be different. Now, hold on, though. Wait a second now. I'm around David every day. David's a pastor.
Yeah, but you guys have a good relationship, and he's a good sport.
Fair.
You don't know about this about a client, especially when there's money involved or charity or whatever.
All right.
I can't help him there.
All right, what do we got here on the CTE stuff?
CTE stuff, I mean, and I'm just going to toss that out there just because I want to say. So you said 110 out of 111 they looked at?
Correct.
This might be wishful thinking. With any chance that's like ADD and everybody has it?
No, because, Alex, I think...
varying degrees?
I mean, I'm not a doctor. I just go by what the studies kick out, and it's not the first study either. I mean, Alex, Boston University did one of these and found the same thing. It's just a very simple progression, is that any prolonged exposure to football, you're going to end up with CTE, unless you're a unicorn. And the more hits you take, the worse it gets, the worse the symptoms, etc. So I'm not asking you guys to care. It's clear players are more aware, but they're still going to do their job because it gives them the life that it gives them, and it's the game they love. My point is, let's find the point where the fans do care. What's this game going to look like in 20 years? What rules would there be? The development of the game from 20 years ago to today, and then today to the next 20 years. Let's go over to Tony. He's up next, 97.1. What's up, Tony?
Hey, Mike. Love the trifecta of topics. First on Avila. I have no anxiety. He's going to blow it, kind of like Rieger on the golf course. So no anxiety. It's a foregone conclusion.
Damn it, Tony.
Did they serve him beer on the golf course?
Oh,
Did they serve him alcohol?
Let me ask. I don't have that detail. Sully, was there alcohol at this event?
I don't believe there was, no.
What kind of event was this?
Really? Did you mamby-pamby golf? Now we know why he's not supposed to swear. It's girl golf. Back to the concussion thing. Mike, I think that the reason you saw them do anything is because that revenue was ascending up. And now that it's leveled off, they're going to do the bare minimum to not get sued and alleviate liability. They're going to talk about better padding, better diagnosis, better medicine, enough to sell the public on them reducing their insurance and medical liability at the expense of the players. And in 15 years, it's going to bottom out, and in 20 years, they'll actually start to address it. I'll hang up and listen, guys. Have a good one.
No, Tony, it's an interesting perspective. I can't hate that opinion. And like I said, I don't have the answer. Now, here's where I would disagree with Tony, is that I think they're already too far down the road. Remember, these players that are now retiring become the living, breathing embodiment of the problem. And the number's only going to grow because, let's face it, they weren't looking for a long time. And now more attention is put on it. The league has nowhere to run because what the league can't evade, it's a game that's based on violence. It's why we love it. But you can't legislate the violence out of the game. Not without, I think, eventually hurting the product. I mean, look, let's be honest about it. Is the product better today than it was 10 years ago? 20 years ago? No, it's not. Now, maybe more high-flying or higher scoring. Is the product better? No. You can't play defense in this league. You can't hit anybody. Not unless you're Cam Newton on Monday Night Football where they don't call personal fouls. You can't hit the quarterback. I mean, I think this is where, down the line, I think it's only going to get less violent, and that's going to upset the customer. 248-539-9797. Yes, Mike.
Yeah, to be honest with you, when you see report after report about CTE that keeps coming out, I am fearful for the future of the sport. And 20 years from now, no, because this is sad, because I love football. 20 years from now, look, it's not going to get to a point where it's going to be flag football, or it's going to be two-hand touch. You're just not going to do that. You can't change the game that much. It's going to eventually get to a point where they're going to have to cancel football and stop playing. Now, do I think that'll happen in 20 years? No, because I think there's too much. All right.
Breaking news at 3:21 in the afternoon. According to Mike Sullivan, football is going to disappear.
It will. No, at some point it will. Again, 20 years, I don't think it will because, look, not only with the CBA, there's a ton of money involved.
Okay, so
NFL's bigger than ever.
Where is it in 20 years?
I think we're just going to continue to see different rule changes as we have in the past with targeting.
Give me an example.
That's what I'm trying to think of. Because I can't see it disappearing in 20 years, but maybe there's going to be something, an equipment issue, change up the equipment a little bit somehow with helmets not being used as weapons. I don't know.
They've already done that, though. I mean, look at running backs. They're not supposed to put their head down isolated outside the tackle box. Normally, that's where we're like, oh, bull them over. Not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be a penalty.
It's tough to think about. Would they go to some sort of system of wrapping up and trying not to bring guys to the ground?
Here's what I think. All right, here, I'll give you my one bold one. I think 20 years from now, I think a lot sooner, actually, you're not going to be able to hit the quarterback.
No, there's something as well.
I think you're going to get two hands or put them in the grasp, and the play's going to be over. David, you could shake your head, but argue it. Argue it. Do this before you yell at me. Think 20 years ago what you could do to a quarterback. Now compare it to what you can do now. You can't touch the quarterback.
I know.
Eventually, they're going to put a red jersey on the damn guy.
And I know it's a business.
Whoops.
I know. Horse racing time.
Whoops. It's an off day at Saratoga. Everybody calm down.
And I know it's a business. The NFL could lose everything if this continues, but football is what I grew up watching. I love this game, and I don't want to see you touch the quarterback on the ground and now it's over.
So 20 years from now, the study isn't 110 brains out of 111. It's 20,000. Numerous Hall of Famers have committed suicide or died violently. Tell me where it's going to be in 20 years. Here, people. Couple open lines. David doesn't have the stones to give me a bold prediction.
No, because my heart is too much in it. I don't want it to change. And I don't think it will change. I just want it to be the same.
Sell me on how it doesn't change when all the league has done is change.
Yeah, okay, you can't hardly touch the quarterback now. Why can't that just remain? Why can't that just be the way football will be forever?
So what other givebacks?
It doesn't have to get worse.
Well, ultimately, here's the thing. You can't legislate where the most blunt force trauma takes place, and that's along the line. I mean, look, I've talked to TJ about it before. I mean, like, you face guys certain weeks, right? And Mikey, he was here with us. Mm-hmm. And certain guys in the league, they're headbutters. It's what they do. They play using the crown of their helmet a lot. Some guys are more handsy. Some guys are – certain guys, they're like battering rams. And they are going to hammer you. I mean, that's 40, 50, 60 headbutts in a game. Lining up across from the wrong defensive tackle. You can't legislate that out. What are you going to do? Now, if you make helmet-to-helmet contact inside the tackle box, it's going to be a flag? How would you won't be able to play the sport. So I'm asking for the people who want to deny that okay, well, football's not going to change. Guys, these studies are only getting worse. And while you don't care and players care, but they won't stop playing the sport's going to have to react because everything in life, I know some of you disagree with it. There's going to be a guy right now telling me to go open a taco stand on the beach and life's not about money. Everything's about money.
And the reality is, and as much as I hate to say it, there will be a point where we don't have football. There will be because of all this stuff that keeps happening. Now, 20 years from now, again, I don't think it's going to be that soon, but 20 years from now, could you see some sort of a Pro Bowl spring game type model where, like you said, quarterbacks you can't touch. There's not as much aggression. There's not as much contact. Maybe. But I can't see people embracing a two-hand touch or a flag lead. It's never going to get to that. It'll be canceled before it gets to that.
Let me offer you something,
please,
as Sully would say. Now, Sully's about to drop a sick update on you. Take a listen. I'm going to give you another sport that has rooted out all violence and become more popular.